Ooh, that looks bad. Why is the white balance all out of whack? You get back down there, or so help me. Go away, go down. Go down. There we go, okay. No lag, no input lag. Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure. Oh, wow, okay. That might have been echoey there. My bad. Don't hear any music? Do the voices count? Haha, very funny. Do you hear me at all? Okay, cool. Weird. Still no music though? That's so weird. I have the desktop audio up like pretty loud. It should be fine. Should be fine. Okay. Anyways, to the actual video. I should probably not hit that really hard. I just shook like my whole setup. To the actual video, to the stream. Hi. I am very excited. Today, I got in my Firestorm Creator Box from Elestrals. Mr. Daniel Drive himself sent it to me. And I thought this would show up like way later than it did, but then I always forget that because I live literally so close to the distribution center, it literally takes me like a day or two to get stuff. So instead of Thursday, it said at like 1 in the morning, oh yeah, by the way, it's coming today. So, yeah. Also, if you haven't noticed, I actually have my face and I have the camera. That's not something that I typically do, namely because it's just very difficult to set up, but I started doing it after the Elestriad. Check if the OBS tracks are muted. That's a very good point. Boom. I think I just fixed it right there. Can you hear it now? Can you hear it now? Okay, yeah, it just told me that the stream health is excellent now. Okay, I think that was it. Okay, speaking of the Elestriad, that's probably why. Okay, yeah, so for the Elestriad, we had to, one sec, let me let my dog out of my room. I'll talk while I, do that. For the Elestriad, we had to have separate audio tracks, and I forgot that it only matters when you put it in, like, Adobe Premiere or something. Do you want in or out, dog? Go on. Go. So yeah, that was probably 100% it. Thank God it affected the music and not my voice. Okay. Yeah, so for the Elestriad, I started doing, like, this setup, which is, like, my face and the actual, like, field. As you can also see the Elestriad mat. It's kind of hidden, but it'll focus better or whatever when I'm done. But I don't want to waste, that much time, honestly. I want to go ahead and crack this baby open, but first, I want to show off this beautiful artwork. This thing is absolutely gorgeous. Unfortunately, USPS is going to USPS, and it got, like, a little dinked up. You can see right here. It's, like, kind of bent, and it really, annoys me. But it's not like the end of the world, and then it shows, like, you know, just the generic back. I think it's, like, the same artwork on every side. Okay, no, we actually have a little bit of different stuff. We have Poseidon with the Stellar Majesty on this side. It's going to be upside down. My apologies. But he is still as handsome as ever. Poseidon, my goat. And then on this side, we have, I was about to say, yeah, it should be Zeus. With the new Voltempest. Awesome full arts, by the way. Would love to pull those. But yeah, outside of that, I don't want to waste any more time. I want to see what goodies are in here, because if it got dinked up this bad and the top is bubbling this bad, surely this thing has to be just absolutely packed with goodies. So, I'm going to go ahead and open it up. Open up a lot smoother than I thought it would, actually. I genuinely thought that would be a lot more difficult. Okay. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, this thing is just filled to the brim. Okay. So, firstly, we have this poor thing that got absolutely shredded in the box. Oh, no. Yeah, so we have Elestrals at a glance. I believe, to my memory, all the Creator Box do this. They send one of these. It has, like, you know, a little bit of, like, an introduction. This is really good for the content creators that are sent, like, their very first Creator Box, that are getting introduced to the game. Very helpful when I actually got into the game, admittedly, because my Creator Box was, like, the second piece of product that I ever got. But yeah, it shows up-to-date versions of, you know, examples of things like spirits, Elestrals runes, shows, like, how to read the cards, what all the things mean, shows, like, the little, stuff at the bottom of how the field is set up, And then it has a Welcome to Elestrals on the back. It allows you to see things like the Discord link and all that. Shows you all the online tools, play Elestrals, collect Elestrals, the online resources, talking about Clash, which Clash is getting really, really good. It has Firestorm cards in it now, I think, by now. You got YouTube content, blah, 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 all that sort of good stuff. Yeah, like I said, this poor thing got destroyed. I feel really bad. I mean, at least it was the paper. Hopefully the cardboard's okay. But let me go ahead and open up some more. I want to show off, like, kind of the inside, but there's just a lot of just stuff in here. Okay. So, first off, let's get the big guy out of the way. So, of all the plushies, I actually got sent a Flurmeme plushie, and that's actually really cute. I think this is definitely coincidental. I don't know if it's actually randomized what plushies come in the Firestorm one of all things. But I love that it's Frost themed because I am Aurora, and I wanted to play Frost really bad in the Elestriad. However, Josh, Bean Soldier, ended up snagging it from me literally like 2 people before me or 3 people before me, something like that. Definitely a little annoyed there, but I mean, what can you do? So yeah, let me go ahead and free this guy from his plastic prison. Oh, he's so beautiful. Oh, his tail's a lot more floppy than I thought it would be. I'd like to zoom it out more. Unfortunately, it's not really that easy. I think this is, like, the max zoom I can get without just showing off, like, my whole desk. I'm going to turn the music down in my own ears. That is really loud. But yeah, we have Flurmeme here. Just a silly little guy. Love Flurmeme. I've been playing a lot of Morphrost lately, too. Just for, like, playtesting, even though it's probably not what I'm going to be playing for Firestorm. Yeah, I love Flurmeme. So, so cute. The little tail is so floppy. Look at it. Oh, man. Let me go ahead and set him to the side. He will join his brothers and sisters. I have so many Elestrals plushies now. I have the Voldusk right up there. I have a Leviathan. I have a Nobby. Oh, where is my Nobby? I forgot where my Nobby is. I have, like... this is at least, like, my 4th one. I might get, like, a 5th as well. Yeah, Morphrost. I love Morphrost. That was, like, my first deck because of my Creator Box. But yeah, I might get a... not a Luminape, what is it? No, yeah, what is it? The Sundial. That's the solar plush. But alright, there is a lot of stuff in here. Oh, goodness. Okay. This is very heavy. Yeah, this is definitely heavy on this side. Okay, let me go ahead and take everything out. Then, oops, drop something. Oh, goodness. So much product. Oh, there's even more in here. Okay. I want to show off the inside of the box a little bit, the best I can. I always try to do that, because the insides of the box are just always so gorgeous. Like, the artwork is just so, so good. I love the Majersa Hestia art. It is so good, and then the carry-off is also really good. I really like the Hermes deck. Oh yeah, the inside got beat up too, like, pretty bad. Jesus. But yeah, I love the Hermes deck a lot. For casual stuff, I definitely want to build the Hermes deck. And then we also have, if I can... Can I show it? This is so difficult. Okay. I'll try from this angle. We have the Nixamera Fallen and Risen form on the bottom. We have right here the Tarot Star and Nemastar, I think it is. It's like the ones that like burn or let you attack directly when you Nexus and stuff like that. It's really cool. And then we have the spiders on the side here. This is Kite Mite, or maybe this is like the bigger one. I forgot what the name of it was, unfortunately. I did pull a Kite Mite from my Firestorm pack at Dallas. And then I can't really show this back one, but it's, I think it's the Thunderstorm full art, and then Ankyla Shock as well, which is really, really cool. It's either Thunderstorm or it's the new... It's like the full art for... I think it's the Thunderstorm, though, because it has a Kyla Shock and the Titano Strike on it. So yeah, I'm going to set the box to the side because this thing is just massive and clunky and it takes up so much space. I want to show off the product that's in here. So we have one of each main blister, I believe, with the Stellar, Lycoris, and Vipyro. Let me go ahead and get the focus back in. Beautiful. The Stellar Lycoris and the Stellar Vipyro. Absolutely insane artworks. I believe these were only restricted to like the Kickstarter stuff until just now when it's like finally been updated. Is there okay, let's say, is there music playing? It was just very quiet. Yeah, they finally added it back for Firestorm, which is really, really cool. Then we also have, of course, a whole box of Firestorm. Very excited to get my grubby little hands on this. Love this set just from looking at it. We also have a Tournament Pack Series 2, a Tournament Pack Series 3. I think this is the brand new one. This might have the marble stuff. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then we have regular Tournament Pack Series 1. These are the only ways I've been able to open tournament packs, by the way. I still have no locals because my OTS still hasn't set up like the Play Network or anything like that. And so literally these creator boxes have been the only ways I've been opening tournament packs. And I can't play in the premiere events because I always work on Saturdays and Sundays, which is hilarious. And then we only got one starter deck this time. However, it is a double starter deck for Firestorm, which is the Hestia and the Poseidon as well. Premier packs have marble cards? Okay, yeah. Like I said, I can never tell because I can't play premieres. But yeah, this is the Hestia and Poseidon starter deck. I believe there's also the Zeus and the Hermes starter deck. Makes sense that we only get one of them because this is basically two starter decks in one. However, it is basically the same price as what a single starter deck was before. Admittedly, it has gone up, or it will be going up at the official release of Firestorm a little bit due to the tariffs, unfortunately, because Elestrals has to get all of their stuff imported from China. And so that does affect a lot. No clue when that will change, if that will change, unfortunately. But these starter decks are very cool because they not only come with two separate starter decks, that's two different chances also to get a serialized or reverse stellar, I believe, but it also has 4 booster packs. And like I said, technically they were the same price as one starter deck. It was absolutely insane. So I think I want to start off with the starter deck. And let me get my box cutter, my work box cutter, because I don't want to damage the box in any way. I love all the boxes and the artwork and stuff. I'll probably show off a little bit of like the back and stuff too, actually, before I do that, because there is a lot of cool stuff on the back as well. Let me get like a good focus here. Yeah, so it says, unyielding fire meets the ocean's endless might when Poseidon and Hestia collide. Majursa and Majesty do battle with scorching heat and battering waves, each vying to... Oh, I was trying to read it off the screen. Each vying to bring victory to their pantheon, featuring all new champion cards. Elestrals Divine Champions Firestorm lets you clash like never before. Can you wield the might of the gods, or will you crumble beneath their divine power? And it shows off a deck list for each of the Poseidon and Hestia starter deck. Shows off that you can get the booster packs, the contents, and all sorts of stuff like that. It says 15 minutes for a game. It really depends on the game. Sometimes these things can go on for ages. I'm gonna go ahead and open this up. Ugh. Little cardboard tube in the middle to separate. And they do come with a little paper playmat that also doubles as a poster. Let me go ahead and show those off. Open, says me. Oh, this already looks really sick, actually. Gotta try to make sure I'm doing everything on camera. Okay. So on one side, it is literally just a standard Elestrals mat. I mean, it shows you, you know, the order of like the phases, what you do in them, where everything goes. I'm assuming most people know at least somewhat how that works. And then we also have this really cool Hestia with Majursa poster right here. Very, very cool. Again, I can only show so much because my camera doesn't zoom out that far. Might actually hang those up somewhere. They're kind of cool. Or maybe I'll give them to people at my Yu-Gi-Oh! Locals and try to gaslight them into playing Elestrals. We've been trying to do that, my friend and I. I think he's not in chat anymore. He's just starting to leave because he has work. But yeah, and then for this one we have the Poseidon right here. Yeah, the poster mats turned out really good. Usually, like for Yu-Gi-Oh! They're always kind of like, eh. Like you never really think of them as posters, but these things are like... These things are kind of hefty. They got some weight to them. Like, I could actually see these being used as a poster. Just gotta put them through the laminator to make sure they're not warped. Alright, and then we have the Majesty deck right here, and the Majursa deck right here. The bears and stuff like that. I'm gonna try to scoot stuff a little bit out of the way here. That way we can focus a little more on the things that we actually have available. And then we have 4 packs of Divine Champions Firestorm. Very excited to open Firestorm. There's so many like really cool chase cards I want. I want the full art Thunderstorm, the full art Eruption, all sorts of stuff like that. I think full art Earthquake's also in this one. All of them would be super, super sick. So I'll save the packs for right after. Let's go ahead and open the decks first. I have to use my teeth like a caveman. Nope, got it with my fingers. Okay. I'm going to start with Poseidon. I think the Majesty deck is pretty cool, even if it is a little, unfortunately, annoying to play against. I believe just under the Majesty should be where a potential reverse or serialized Stellar Sluggle is. So we'll be checking in 3, 2, 1. Okay, now. Guess not. Would it be at the back then? Interesting. Okay. So I guess that gives me a chance to actually talk about the deck itself. So the Majesty starter deck focuses around, well, Majesty, the champion of Poseidon here. Let me go ahead and zoom in, actually. Beautiful. Focuses on Majesty, champion of Poseidon, which you can turbo out very easily turn 1 with the brand new Sluggle, champion of Poseidon, which is right here. I can kind of show that off in tandem. Via the old Globby, which allows you to get into the Majesty very, very fast if you open just Sluggle and Poseidon. And then while Poseidon is enchanted and the Majesty is in attack position, all spirits enchanting Elestrals are considered water instead of their original element. So therefore, well, yes, you can't Tsunami your opponent, but it essentially skill drains any Elestral that isn't already a water Elestral, which is kind of insane. And then while it's in defense, you can return up to 2 water from your underworld to your spirit deck just every turn, and Poseidon doesn't even need to be enchanted for that. So you can either use this as a stall card via effects or a stall card via heals, and when it's in defense, that's 14 defense. It's kind of crazy. Typically, this thing is kind of easy to beat over with things like, you know, Zeus plus any 3-drop or higher. Usually, I mean, you'll have like a 4-drop or something like that instead. Also, just a bunch of like random little things, Earthquake, obviously, stuff like that. That's why typically you want to like back this up with something like a Trident of Poseidon and make it unaffected by counter runes and stuff as well, and give it a bit of a stat boost. There's a bunch of different things that you can use to kind of protect the castle with this deck, though it definitely is annoying to play against, even if it isn't like the most difficult thing to out. And then we have the beautiful Firestorm Spirit artworks. I absolutely adore how the Firestorm Spirits look, because they kind of went for like a more world building sort of art. I think that's what Dan described it as, was like, you know, they wanted to focus more on like building the world around the spirits and stuff, so you can see more of like their environment. I love the Leviathan. I got one of these, I believe, from my pack at Dallas. It is just stunning. And then we can go through a quick glance through the deck. We have some Poison-Tipped Arrows, Gorgon's Gaze, Ultra Stars, very good one right there. Nectar of the Gods, Divine Healing, Circle the Sky, Tsunami, of course, even though Majesty does kind of shut it down. Let me go ahead and let my dog out of room real quick. Alrighty, I am back. Tsunami High Tide. Really like this card. Sucks that Joblin never really like completely took off. It's still very popular though. Rockin' a Hard Place, Rise from the Depths, Atlantis, both of which are searchable off the new Globby. Now this card is what I think is crazier than the Majesty. Poseidon's Fury is a 1-drop invoke that says disenchant any number of water from one or more of your Poseidon, and an opponent disenchants the same number of spirits period from their field. So you can literally just see your opponent's really big, like wide board, especially like the Leica Void board or something like that, and be like, okay, I'm gonna throw down a Poseidon, I'm gonna throw down a 1-drop invoke, and you're gonna lose almost, if not your entire board, which is kind of crazy. I think this card has insane potential, especially in the future if Poseidon gets even better. There's the Trident that I mentioned, the new artwork for Poseidon that came out with the starter deck. We have Plucky, Harpy, which is actually the Nexus form. A lot of people don't know that. We have Old Javalantis and Veritaqua. It doesn't look like we have the new ones in here. I thought they were. Okay, yeah, they're just further back. We have some Foamies, very good at like turboing out things like the new Sluggle. Tratagua, the old Globby that allows you to go straight into the new Majesty. We have the new Galaxy Champion of Poseidon, which allows you to basically swap everything on receive, which you can use a lot of like timing effects with, things like Alter or any other Nexus effects, without just like permanently doing it, which can kind of screw you over in some regards. Then we have the new Veritaqua and Javalantis. We have the new Globby, not as good, but still pretty neat, as well as the other Sluggle Champions of Poseidon. And I believe this has a code on it that gives me caster coins, so I'm not going to be showing it. You're not stealing my caster coins. So, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and set this aside, let my other dog into my room before she breaks down the door. Oh my goodness. Four dogs, people. 4 dogs. So yeah, that is the Poseidon starter deck. Moving on to the Majursa Hestia starter deck. I think that bears are getting a lot of potential here. If I can tear this open. Try not to, like, break it or anything. Yeah. There we go. Beautiful. So yeah, Hestia technically is, like, a more all-rounder fire strategy. Okay, cool. Reconnection successful. I haven't actually seen that in ages. I'm surprised it did that. Okay. Hello, chat. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, so as I was saying, Hestia is very bear-focused. She has a lot of new, like, bear-related cards, and the new Majursa is very, very good for bears. When you cast it, you can target and destroy cards up to the number of bear Elestrals on your field, so minimum, that's a free pop. And then your bear Elestrals get +1 attack for each fire enchanting each Hestia on the field. Now, even by default, that can get pretty strong, but I think just the 8 attack, like, on its own is really, really good, so you don't really, like, need that effect. I think the pop alone genuinely makes this card very, very strong. Okay, nothing behind the Majursa there, but we do have the beautiful Flurmy. It goes my new plushie. And then we have the Vipyro sleeping in the middle of the volcano. Very, very sick. God, I love these artworks. And moving on to the rest of the deck, we have some shields, Pandora's Box, Helios' Chariot Ride, kind of power crept by Hurricane, still a pretty decent card. Resting on Your Laurels, Ambrosia, Hibernation. This card is really, really sick. We have Cryoblast. That's a really good reprint. I actually did not know that was in here. That is very, very good. Blizzard, Don't Poke the Bear, Chains of Prometheus, Ursaden, Hestia's Hearth, Torch of Hestia, Hestia herself, Glaciersa, Abominursa, Urskote, Ursicle, Common Lavalith reprint. I remember this was in here. That's very, very good. Ursier has a little bit of a speck over his name. That's pretty funny. Ursmog, Urscout, Torchin, Champion of Hestia, which is basically just an Elechic. Infyrix, Champion of Hestia, Warmite, Champion of Hestia, and Urscout, Champion of Hestia. Very cool stuff there. Go ahead and move that out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and open up these packs. Come on. Alright, so pack 1 of 4 for the starter deck packs. We have Nemastar, Arachne's Lair. Spider deck's very, very cool. I like the spider deck. Fully Forest Burning Woods. Don't like this card as much. Reforge. Like this card. Hibernation. Javalantis Champion. Wayland's Champion. This artwork is sick. It's actually similar to what I kind of wanted to do for the art contest until I saw that you could only include one Elestral. So unfortunately, I didn't really enter the contest because I wanted to do like a small Tuga or like Eddie or like Foamy or something being hunted by like a Draking or a Joblin. I thought that would have been cool. Unfortunately, it couldn't, but I love this artwork because of it. Griffew's Champion of Zeus. I love this card, actually. I genuinely think this card is ridiculous. It can special ascend from your Champion of Zeus for free, but it can only be properly enchanted, which is whatever. And when you cast it, you can give all of your opponent's Elestrals -3 until the next turn. So basically, this is a 6 attack 2-drop you get on board for free that Zeus's your opponent's entire board. I think this card is kind of ridiculous and is only bogged down by the fact that there's not too many good 1-drop Champions of Zeus. I mean, technically you can ascend it from, like, the Voltempest if you want, but, like, why would you do that? But I think this card is, like, really, really good, especially if we get more good champions down the line. And we get a Parachne as our holo right here. That's the name of the guy that was on the box, not the Kite Mite. It's Parachne. I'll go ahead and set my rares over to the side. Alrighty, that is number 1. Oh, goodness, I'm going to have so much bulk. I just cleaned up my Moonrise bulk off my desk, and now I'm going to have a bunch of Firestorm bulk. Yeah, open up. I think Dan said that mostly because of the terrace, but also just because people have been having a bulk problem, they're going to consider dropping down the pack count in boxes from like 32 to 24, which I think everyone's been okay with, just because everyone just has so much like bulk from Moonrise and Daybreak and stuff. Starting off with this pack, we have Soulbell, Champion of Apollo. This card's really, really good for Solar. We have Plucky, Champion of Apollo. I think there's a really good, like, combo or lock that someone set up with this. I forgot about it, though. Ah, there it is, Werepup, Champion of Artemis. So this Werepup isn't as good as the original Werepup from Moonrise, but this is a telling sign to come of one of the cards in the set that we are looking to pull because we are going to play it, but that's because everyone is going to play it because that card is absolutely broken. We have Nemistar, Arachne's Lair. There it is, Lycavoid, Champion of Artemis. Aw, man. So, for those that don't know, Lycavoid, Champion of Artemis is probably going to be one of, if not the defining cards of Firestorm format and onward, unless something happens on this Forbidden and Limited list that happens tomorrow, by the way, confirmed. This is a 6/5 that says when you cast this Lycavoid, keep in mind the old one can ascend to it off a 1-card combo, you can special cast any number of Werepup from your deck suppressed. And you can destroy a suppressed Elestral on your field to destroy a suppressed Elestral on an opponent's field. The second effect I don't think is going to come up too often except for like mirrors. If your opponent goes very wide, you can like kind of punish them by popping one of your Werepups or one of their Werepups or something like that. But this card in general is just ridiculous because this is a Lycavoid that cannot be cryoblasted to death. I mean, if that cryoblast Zeus, I guess, whatever. Cannot die to Eddie without something else. And also can potentially summon out 3 more dudes for free for a total of like 7 damage. Who thought this was a good idea? We also have Torch of Hestia, Anvil of Hephaestus, and a Nixamera Risen form for our rare here. I know that, oh god, that's very loud in my ear. Okay, let me turn that down a little bit. And let my other dog in. Oh my goodness. You wanna help open the bed, Mama? 1 second, y'all. Come on. Come on. Good girl. Huh. Okay. Anyways, as I was saying, Nixamera Risen form, I know that the Nixamera strategy is going to be very popular from like the artwork and stuff alone, but I also think that's going to be popular in decks like Morfrost as well. That's what Josh was telling me, Bean Soldier. He was like cooking like a Morfrost Nixamera deck, which I think is cool because this deck is just constantly about applying pressure by having a bunch of really big bodies on the board. Not a bunch, but like one really big recurring body on board over and over again. Defensively on their turn and offensively on your turn. That can also like, you know, blow up back row and stuff like that. I think this deck is pretty cool. I do want to experiment with it a little bit. Back-for-back hollows from our structure deck packs is really nice. Next pack we have Arachne's Lair, Fulloy Forest Burning Woods, Reforge, Hibernation, Handison Champion of Demeter. I think this card is what makes the heal deck go for a more earth-leaning strategy, especially if we see like a Quackle and Sluggle get hit. Another Lycavoid Champion of Artemis, Torch of Hestia, Anvil of Hephaestus, and our rare is the new Viscerus. So this is not to be confused with the original base set Viscerus, even though this one doesn't have a title. This one also gets +1 for each Viscerus in the field, but instead of tagging out into another one, it says while there is another Viscerus on your field, this card is unaffected by counter runes, or opponent's counter runes. So you can use this off of your second Viscerus to get a third 5 body, or yeah, technically 6 body out. And this one being unaffected by counter runes is pretty cool, even though it goes in defense, and so it's going to be really easy to kill, but you know, it's still pretty decent. And then we have one more pack left from our starter decks here before we go into probably the blister packs, then I'll do the box. We have Titanostock Champion of Aeolus, Spine Nymph Champion of Hermes, Drataya Escaped from Tartarus, so I think everyone has come to the same conclusion that this card, compared to like Spark It, which is still like playable, this card kind of just completely butchered Drataya. They could have just slapped the hard ones per turn on the original Drataya, and it probably would have been fine, because for those who don't know, the old Drataya caused an FTK because it was a non-once per turn. While you were recovering spirits, you were also drawing 2 cards. Now, this not allows, but kind of just forces you to discard one of those really good cards in order to draw 2, and it is a hard once per turn, so it's like not really much of a point in it unless you're really going hard on the fruit deck, which I don't think it's even gotten support since Frostfall when it came out, and so I just wish you luck with that if you want to try to play with the new Drataya. Romacole Champion of Hephaestus, we got a sneak peek of this card in the Fire Shattered Stars. Earth Scout Champion of Hestia. Caduceus of Hermes. I really wish they didn't... Well, there it is. I really wish they didn't go with the artifact route for Hermes. I think there was a lot more potential if they focused even more on, like, the milling. Maybe if it had, like... well, I guess artifacts are technically, like, the closest thing they have to non-divine continuous spells or whatever. I do kind of wish that they went, like, a little bit of a different route, because artifacts really only seem good in Fire or Argo decks for the most part. Part. Sirocco of Notice is one of the 4 wind cards that Dan was very excited about. And then for our rare, we have a Majursa. Alrighty, so 2 holos from our starter deck packs. Very, very cool. No full arts or anything like that, unfortunately, but it's still pretty nice. Let's go ahead and open up these blister packs, starting off with the Vipyra one. That opened up very easy. I do like that they are sleeved now, even though it doesn't really completely stop the warping problem, as you can see. But I do like that they do come in like a little thick penny sleeve now. We have a Stellar Vipyra, very, very pretty, alongside our singular pack here. Bada bing, bada boom. We have Hibernation, Pandison, Titanostock, come on, Spy Nymph, Drataya, Torchin, Waspire, Glauby, and Spinosect Champion of Hermes as our rare. I don't think this deck in particular is, like, incredible. It requires way too much setup. It says you can Nexus up to 2 wind if it's sent from field or deck to Underworld. And on cast, you can bounce on Elestral to the opponent's hand, but it's like, I think it's fine to, like, ignore this card. I feel like the Spy Nymph itself is only okay in a Hermes deck just because it's, like, extra copies of Elechick, and Elechick might get the axe on the next list, let's be real. So, like, the Spy Nymph is probably fine, but I don't think the Spinosect is really worth going into, honestly. And I think the Nexusing doesn't really even work that well, because it's like, what are you going to Nexus to? Like a P-Gust, right? At that point, you'd be better off playing, like, the Aeolus deck. And speaking of which, I don't think we've pulled many Aeolus cards except for the Titanostock. I just completely ignored the Lycris, huh? I am so sorry. I completely ignored this beautiful Stellar Lycris. Oh, stunning. Alright, and then on to the pack itself now. Oh, cool. I really like this card. We have Carrion, Champion of Hermes. This is one of my favorite cards in the set. I think this card has insane potential. When it's sent from the deck to the Underworld with Hermes effect, you can special cast it using a wind from either your Spirit deck or your Underworld. So when you disenchant 2 from Hermes to dump this, you can just re-enchant it to your field with one of the ones that you use. So basically, you get to kind of bring it out for free, half free, because you do have to disenchant 2 from Hermes, so you technically are just burning a spirit for a special cast, but you can dump it from deck to get it out for free, and that is very, very good to play cards like Enfornax. I really want to play Enfornax for Firestorm if I'm not playing 5s with the Lycovoid. We also have the Cockatoodle, Champion of Hermes. So this is, I believe, part of the Antitan strategy. Well, I know this sounds really weird because this is a Hermes card, but basically there's a combo where if you open Ardbud plus Hermes, you go Hermes dump the Cockatoodle. Cockatoodle will suppress a card on the field. Then you'll go normal cast Ardbud, grab the new Specteris that we haven't seen yet. But the Specteris says if there is a suppressed Elestral on the field or the opponent's field, you can special cast it for free from your hand. So you special cast the Specteris because Cockatoodle suppressed something. Ardbud kills that Specteris to go into Ardvarum, which adds another Specteris, bring that out to your field, Ardvarum kills that Specteris, and then you get to go into Antitan off the 2 cards, which is really, really cool. I also think that the Antitan strategy will be a lot better anyway, due to the prevalence of the Lycovoid engine, because when you bring out the Werepups, they're all suppressed, and so that's all your opponent has to do for you to be able to get out an Antitan off of just an Ardbud at that point, which is really, really good. We also have the new Nimbug, not to be confused with the old one. We have Chitemite, Urskote, Glauby, Javalantis, Whalance, and another Parachne Hollow for our rare. Alright, and that does it for our blister packs. Now we get to move on to the big Mama Mamma Jamma, the box. So this will have a guaranteed full art and a guaranteed hollow spirit. So I'm very excited to see what we get. We also could potentially get an error box with multiple full arts. I've gotten a couple of those from both my first creator box and for participating in the Elestriad. You got some Moonrise boxes, and one of those, if not both of them, I think one of them was an error box. I had no Hollow Spirit, but I had like 3 full arts, so I think it made up for it. Alright, so this box topper, I believe, could be an X out of 10 serialized stellar. Oh, okay. It's, I have to open it up, because I think this also has the code that gives me the caster coins. So let me open this up. Open says me. Oh my god, this is difficult. Yeah, okay. So this does have the code on it. So, let's see. Did we get an X out of 10? No, okay. But we did get this beautiful full art carry-off Champion of Hermes as our box topper. Gorgeous, gorgeous card. I love the whole Hermes line. The carry-off is really, really cool. Let's set this over to the side. And let's go ahead and start opening some packs. God, Elestrals boxes are just so deep with packs. Like, look how deep that goes. Look how thick this stack of packs is. There's like 32 packs in here. I'm going to set the box off to the side. All right. Got a lot of bulk we're going to have to go through, but it's going to be cool because Firestorm is cool. Starting off this pack, we have Warmite, Champion of Hestia. We have the new Ignector. This one adds Nectar of the Gods, which, keep in mind, this works off the old Ignector. All you gotta do is, open one of the original Ignector, normal cast, bring out 2 Ignectors, search 2 Nectar of the Gods. Very cool. We have a Phrygica. We have Bunnix. This is what goes into the Nixamera line. The new Soul Bell. Another one of the Griffews, my goat. Titanostrike, Champion of Zeus, adds Thunderstorm. I think this card is actually going to be solid, because Thunderstorm in a Divine format is very good. And Kyla Shock, very cute artwork, even though I was a little disappointed by the Kyla Shock and Kyla Surge line. And then our rare is an Infyrix, Champion of Hestia. I think the Kyla Surge and Kyla Shock line actually is used in like one of the double attacker strategies, but I think it's like the worst one, so I don't think I would play it. I've been like tinkering with the double attacker strategy. It's basically 5s, you just play like a bunch of the guys that get out another guy, or that can swing twice. So it's like Nobby, the new Sorlet, and then one of the other ones I completely forgot. Pentair, you play the Pentair line. Very, very cool stuff. We have Harpy, Elechic, Champion of Zeus. I wish this card was a little better. It would have made the Griffews so much better. Nemastar, Arachne's Lair, Burning Woods, Teleria of Hermes, Sirocco of Notice, Monsoon of Eurus. This is another one of the win cards. And then a Poseidon's Fury for our rare. A lot of starter deck cards in our rare slots, unfortunately. But that is how the Firestorms or something like that. I don't know. I'm just making stuff up at this point. Anderson, Titanostock, Reforge, Hibernation. Ooh, there he is. Okay, Sparkit Escape from Tartarus. I love this card a lot. So I want to try and mess around as well casually with a Thunder variant. Probably like a Thunder Lunar aggro variant with the new Leica Void. Because I think that being able to play Sparkit Escape from Tartarus is really, really good. So what Sparkit does now that it has been eroded and it has escaped from the list, basically, when you normal cast it, you can look at up to 2 random cards from your opponent's hand and discard one of them. And this is not requiring the Nexus. The Nexus is a separate effect. So, I love that Cynthia's team started playing when I started explaining this. Basically, for a normal cast, you get a free 2-card information with one of them being ripped. And you can also use this with cards like Golden Apple of Discord if you wanted to for like a rip strategy or a mill strategy, something like that. But I think this card on its own is just very solid because even if you don't open like the Werepup, right? Say you open like Sparkit plus like a Gorgons, right? In case your opponent has a Werepup. You just Sparkit, rip a card, maybe you're lucky you hit a Werepup. Otherwise, you get to just get the Gorgons on it. Or if you just like open it with some good back row in general. I think it is very, very good. Also, the Nexus being separate is really cool because it means you don't have to Nexus in order to actually get the hand rip. Like, that's just a free rip and then you can also Nexus to an Ash Rabbit later. And then, technically, unfortunately, you can't go into the Griffuse off of this, like, with the Ascension effect, but you could just ascend this into a Griffuse on the next turn, so you already get value out of it, so I think that's really cool. But, remember, you can get a Hollow Spirit, so you, don't forget to check those. I think those change, and swap out with the rare spot. I don't think those stay in the same slot, to my memory. I don't know. Mistral of Boreas, this is the 3rd of the winds. And Breeze of Zephyros there is the 4th of the winds. I don't think any of these in particular are, like, crazy. I think some of them are okay. I think the Breeze isn't super bad. But I think a lot of them are just kind of, right. I don't know. Lyre of Apollo. This works with the new Plucky. And then, alright, we got a Galaxy Champion of Poseidon Hollow for our rare slot. This will go very nicely with our Poseidon starter deck. Yeah. So much wrapping. We have Spy Nymph, Champion of Hermes. Drataya. Sorlet, Champion of Aeolus. This is what I mentioned from the double attacker strategy. When this Sorlet destroys an Elestral by battle, you can search for an Aeolus or a Champion of Aeolus and add it to your hand. You can add the new Chrysor, Champion of Aeolus, which can immediately ascend over your Sorlet, any Sorlet, if you, basically killed something by battle this turn, so it's really, really good at getting another free body out, and I think the Chrysor is like a 7 by default, so it's technically better than Doppelganger right off the rip, so that's pretty cool. I think Monsoon is pretty good. Let me read Monsoon again. Monsoon of Eurus. Enchant up to 2 in any combination of wind and water to your field. Suppress each face-up card that is not wind or water enchanted the next turn. I think the only problem I have with this is that it's not like Gorgon's. Suppression's just really awkward. But yeah, enchanting more wind or water spirits is always really good. That's why I think the, I also think that the Breeze is pretty good because Nexusing Solar is always going to be good as long as, Phosphocell is a deck. Why is my autofocus on the webcam? Autofocus sucks. Get that thing. It's not on. Why is it? I feel like it's autofocusing. Is it autofocusing? I don't know. But yeah, I think as long as Phosphocell exists, I think Nexusing or Enchanting Solar is always going to be good. We have another Carrion. Definitely need a 3rd one of these. Cockatoodle. The new Panzer. I'm sorry, PK, that this card is not as great as it could have been. Torchin. The new Waspire. And Zeus's Call for our rare. So I think Zeus's Call is really cool. Straight up just says if Zeus is enchanted, add a Champion of Zeus. This is basically just a Rhoda in a game where Rhodas are very few and far between outside of a normal cast. So yes, while this does require another spirit to search or whatever, it's not like super free or anything like that. And it does require setup. It's a 1-drop. It just searches your dudes. Also, Lustragon. I forgot most of Lustragon's effects. Isn't it like you can Nexus and if you do like pop a card or something? I love Cockatoodle with the goggles. I think he's really cute, yeah. I think all of the Champion of Hermes artworks are just really, really cool. Like, he looks so ready to deliver the mail. Yeah. Yeah, I think the only thing I remember about Lustragon is that Bo was playing Lustragon. And then it swapped out for Heliolith at Dallas. All right, we have Rumacol, Champion of Hephaestus. Scout, Champion of Hestia. What is up, my Nimbugs? Kite Mite. I also never noticed the little face on Kite Mite's abdomen. Really cool. Urskote with Keone. Glauby. Javalantis. Waylance. And Hermes Trickery for our rare. To my memory, this card is like one of the weaker divine, like, runes. I wanted to say skills. Runes. It can only be played if Hermes is enchanted. Destroy an Elestral on your field, and if you do special cast another Elestral from your underworld, using only spirits that were enchanting the destroyed Elestral. So basically, you can like tag out one Elestral into another, and it doesn't have to be a champion or like even a wind or anything like that, admittedly. But I just don't think this card is like super good as long as Rise from the Ashes is legal. So I don't know. I don't really see a world in which this card is like super crazy. You can Nexus, and when it receives in a Nexus, it can pop. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, Lustragon, I think, is, like, a pretty solid card. There's a lot of really solid solar cards. We have Narpoon, Champion of Kony here. I love Narpoon so much. The artwork is so cute. I love the Shattered Stars artwork where he's, like, doing a little dance. This one is actually really good at going into the old Waylands. I think a lot of people are really hyping up this going into the old Waylands because you can just Nexus Water or Frost and immediately go into Waylands. So it's kind of like the Sluggle, but the Waylands, the new ones I think is okay. I think a lot of people undervalue it. But the old one is pretty cool because you can just like destroy a shit ton of stuff in your opponent's deck and whittle down the resources on top of being like, what, an 8? I think a Waylance is. Really cool stuff. We have Harpy, Arachne's Lair, Burning Woods, Reforge, Torch of Hestia, Anvil of Hephaestus, Caduceus of Hermes, and a Majesty for our rare. I think that's our second Majesty, or maybe I'm just thinking of the Majursa. No, I think we pulled a Majesty from one of our starter deck packs. We have Elichick, Champion of Zeus, Pandison, Hibernation, Sparkit, my goat, Sorlet, Teleria of Hermes, Sirocco of Notice, Monsoon of Eurus, and, ooh, we got the Voltempest, Champion of Zeus as our rare. So I think this card is really, really cool. So it has massive stats, and it says, when your Champion of Zeus, when your Champion of Zeus is destroyed in battle, you can special cast this Voltempest from your hand properly if your Zeus is enchanted and you control no Elestrals. So you can literally just put the fear of God constantly in your opponent by being like, hey, there's a Zeus on my board. I have one little dude on board, sure. You can kill that little dude. Then you're going to have to deal with Voltempest, who is a 14/7. Have fun, buddy. Alright, let me let my dog out of my room 1 sec, y'all. Also, I just noticed we're at 8 viewers. What's up, everybody? Alrighty. 9 viewers, actually. Wow, what's going on, y'all? So yeah, I think the Voltempest is really, really cool. I like the Champion of Zeus deck a lot. I just like a lot of Thunder strategies in general. I really wanted to play Thunder for Moonrise. I wanted to test with Electronite, but I think Electronite is, like, unfortunately bad. A lot of, like, Protect the Castle strategies are just really luck-based on whether or not you can actually get it out, because there's just so many things that just prevent you, like Gorgons and PTA and stuff like that. Titanostock, Spy Nymph. There's my third Carrion. Beautiful. Third Cockatoodle. Carrion and Cockatoodle always right next to each other. Nimbug, Mistral of Boreas, Breeze of Zephyros, Lyre of Apollo, and our rare is a Scavicole, Champion of Hephaestus. Unfortunately, I think this card is, like, really mediocre. I think this is, like, the worst of the Champions of Hephaestus, but still really cool. I love the artwork. Very cute. I noticed that Elestrals really has a problem. I don't know if a lot of other card games have a similar problem, but, like, a lot of their packs... when you see one card, you can also see, like, the same ones back to back right after it. So it feels like a lot of, I don't want to call it clumping, but it's like, for example, back to back, we got, like, the Carrion followed by the Cockatoodle, followed by Nimbug, Mistral, Breeze, Lyre, whatever. Like, a lot of the time it can feel very samey. I think that contributes to the bulk problem a lot. Drataya, Escape from Tartarus, Rummikole, Kite Mite. Maybe it just feels like a problem because I open so much product, because they send me a lot of product. Urskote, Frigicub, Panzer. Also forgot to mention, this is not to be confused with the original Frostfall Frigicub. This is a new Frigicub. It adds Blizzard from Underworld to hand. Panzer, Torchin, Waspire, and there is the Chrysor for our rare. Like I mentioned, the Chrysor says it can special ascend from your Sorlet, any Sorlet, with wind during your battle phase if that Sorlet destroyed an Celestial in battle this turn. This is also really good with the OG Sorlet, because OG Sorlet is really strong. Like, that card is really undervalued nowadays, because everyone's like, oh, Eddie's just better. But Sorlet is a 5 that can just do it every turn. So you can literally just take anything that's like a 4 lower on your opponent's field, murk it, and then go straight into this if you already have it in your hand, not even ignoring the new Sorlet, the champion one. So it is very easy to get value out of Chrysor. I really want to mess around with the double attacker deck. I think it is really cool on paper, even if it's not, like, technically better than the Like Avoid strategy. But hey, that card beats over Like Avoid. Just saying. Rummikole, Urscout, Soulbell, Lucky, Werepup. I think this is our third champion of Artemis Werepup. Maybe it's the second, because I know we have 2 Like Avoid. Panzer, Torchin, always followed by Waspire, and another Zeus's Call. Just gotta complete my playset. And my dog wants in again. Ah. We are halfway through being halfway. There is so many packs to open. Really excited to see what we get for the full art. Like, I genuinely don't think I would complain about any full art, almost, in this set. I think all of them are insanely sick. Warmite, Ignector, Nemastar, Arachne's Lair, Burning Woods, Glaubie, Javalantis, Waylance, and another Hermes Trickery. I don't want to say unfortunately, because that comes off as rude, but I don't know. I just really don't like Hermes Trickery. I feel like they really fumbled a lot when it came to Hermes back row. Sluggle, Veritaqua, Reforge, Hibernation. There's our third Sparkit, I think, and our third Griffuse, Titanostrike, and Kylosock. No Ankylosurge yet. And alright, there is our Hollow Spirit. Yeah, so it kind of goes before the rare that normally goes in for the Hollow Spirit, like I mentioned earlier. Yeah, we got a hollow version of the Owloon. Very cute. It's going to be very nice to use this with the Lyca Void stuff. I have a lot of specialty Owloons now, so I think I can actually just have all specialty Owloons in my deck. That's sick. I don't have any, like, extra sleeves, unfortunately, right now. I literally just packed up all my sleeves, and then I was like, oh, wait. I should probably have not done that. It's like, I'm going to take a sip of my hot chocolate. It's more like room temperature or cold chocolate now, but it's so good. Delicious. 20 different spirit arts is the wave. Didn't you literally say in a video once that you did that and it caused you to lose the game? We have Narpoon, Harpy, Sorlet, Carrion, Cockatoodle, Charcoon. Hey, it wasn't a Nimbug this time. It was the Charcoon. Shiverroar, Lyca Void, and, ooh, we got a Hermes for our rare. Very, very nice. Love to get the full art of this guy, but having a Hermes in general is just good to have. Like I said, I do want to build a Hermes very bad with Infornax. I think that Hermes Infornax is the way. The problem with Infornax was always surviving a turn to get it out, and now, I mean, hey, you got Hermes and Hestia to do that, but Hermes is just easier because you don't. That's a 2-card combo compared to 3. Elichick, Pandison, Nimbug, Titanmite. I think the music ended. Let me go ahead and restart the video. Beautiful. Urskote, Torch of Hestia, Anvil of Hephaestus, Caduceus of Hermes, and the second copy of the new Viserys for our rare. We'll get a playset, and then we can surely play 5 Viserys, right? Clueless. Harpy, Elichick, Kitemite, Urskote, Frigicub, Charcoon, Shiverroar, Lyca Void, and we got Brummelinx, Champion of Kione, in here for our rare. I know the Brummelinx is pretty solid, right? Yeah, it either adds Boreas or Blizzard, so this is like Elichick, but it also searches back row removal, which is pretty cool. There's a lot of hype around a lot of the new Frost decks. Frost has always been, like, a really fan-favorite typing. Pandison, Titanostock, Bunnix. I think that's our second Bunnix. Might be our third. Soulbell, Plupkey, Torch of Hestia, Anvil of Hephaestus, Caduceus of Hermes, and alright, we got a Hestia now. So we have both a Hermes and a Hestia Hollow. So we do already have a bunch of Hestias from the starter deck, so I do appreciate the Hermes a little bit more, but Hestia herself is also really cool. Being able to bring out, like, free 1-drop fire Elestrals is really cool from your hand. Yes, you have to control the same amount or less Elestrals than your opponent, but one of the problems with Elestrals has always been playing from behind when your opponent has, like, a really big or, like, wide board. It's very difficult to, like, play through that. And there's a lot of situations where you'd be, especially in, like, a fire deck, right, where Hestia would be useful. It's like, oh, I have a Kinleo, I have another dude in my hand. The problem is that I only have my normal cast, right? So I can't get out the other dude super easily. And you don't want to, like, just use your Hestia as your Nexus Bank all the time. You want to be able to use things like an Ash Rabbit, right? Or you want to have the ability to put under an Ash Rabbit. Because looping Kinleo and Ash Rabbit is, like, crack. Like, genuinely, it feels so, so good. So you can go, like, Hestia, special cast out the Kinleo, normal cast out the Rabbit, Rabbit add something back, Kinleo Nexus from Hestia to Rabbit, Rabbit add another thing back. You can get a lot of value that way, especially if it's late game and you need to go through, like, your Ambrose or something again. I think it's really cool. We have Spynymph, Drataya, and definitely our third Werepup guaranteed, Nemastar, Arachne's Lair, Sirocco of Notice, Monsoon of Eurus, Mistral of Boreas, we got 3 of them in a row, and our rare is the new Soul Stocks Champion of Apollo. So the Soul Stocks I don't think is as good, right? Yeah, it just stacks a Soul Bell on top of your deck, and you can expend a Solar to bounce a Divine Rune. I don't think that's, like, super, super strong. You really don't want to bounce Divine Runes usually, even if they have a bunch of spirits, excuse me. I know the Soul Bell is, like, crazy, but I think the Soul Stocks is just kind of okay. Maybe the old Soul Stocks is better. I don't remember. I think the old Soul Stocks says if you foretell it while you have Soul Bell, you can bring it out easy. I think that's actually really good, because the new Soul Bell also says you can just bring it out super easy. Also, don't you not have to have the target on board to activate an effect, so maybe, like, you can make a loophole with that? I don't know. I don't remember how Blizztrix worked in that regard. Remical, Urscout, Burning Woods, Reforge, Hibernation, Breeze of Zephyros, Lyre of Apollo, Panzer, and Pandalint's Champion of Artemis is our rare. I think this was, like, one of the cards that was, like, first revealed for Firestorm. I think it's pretty funny. It's not super great, though, admittedly. I think this card kind of sucks. Okay, wow, we actually finally made it through half of the box. Moving on to the second half. Oh, Lord. You thought we were done? Not even close. I think this is definitely one of my faster openings that I've done for a Creator Box, though. To think, I almost also waited until my actual Firestorm box came in. So I actually, the day of the announcement of Firestorm, I pre-ordered a box, which I'm kind of regretting now because I'm, like, really tight on money now. But I did pre-order a box, and I have that on the way. And I was going to open that on top of the Creator Box in the same stream, but I would have probably been dead, bro. I'm kind of, like, not announcing everything, because we've basically seen almost everything in the common and uncommon slots so far. Ooh, awesome. Volcaries. Cool. I think this was, like, a guaranteed common anyway in the Fire Shatter Stars, so it's not really, like, a huge deal. But this card is really, really sick for the Fire Artifact strategy, or the Fart strategy that some people are calling it, which I think is stupid. But this just allowing you to add Hephaestus and immediately be able to use it and use those spirits again to enchant your artifacts is kind of ridiculous. I think it is very interesting to have such a spirit-efficient deck in that regard. Being able to play Argo for 2 instead of 4, or, like I said, just play the Festus for, like, and the artifact for, like, essentially free, and be able to use that is kind of insane. I think that there's a lot of potential in this strategy, even if, you know, a lot of the times you can get shut down by shield and stuff like that. And I think it probably isn't as good as, like, the Like a Void strategy, but I think you can easily see this as one of the top decks of Firestorm, in my opinion. I think this is, like, really, really good. I think the Volcaries alone is, like, probably what carries the deck. We have Urscout, Warmite, Bunnix, Soulbell, Plucky, Globby, Javalantis. Globby's so fun to say. Globby. Waylance, and ooh, there's our full art. We have the full art Tarot Star. That is absolutely gorgeous. Admittedly, this card isn't very good yet, but this is breathtaking artwork right there. I've always loved stuff with, like, space theming. I've been playing a lot of Juno and Overwatch lately, but wow. Absolutely stunning. Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll get a second one. Yeah, like I said, definitely not, like, the best one in terms of, like, playability that you could have gotten from this set, but I genuinely think it is ridiculously pretty enough to make up for it. Ignector, Sluggle, Werepup, Nemastar, Arachne's Lair, Griffuse, Titanostrike, and Kylashok, and Verdolith, Champion of Demeter. A little unfortunate. This card is kind of terrible, admittedly. I feel so bad saying that the cards are, like, terrible, especially when I'm so close to, like, how this game is made and everything like that, and, like, being close to, like, the creator and stuff like that. Also, I noticed that the foil... You guys see that? The foil goes over the spirit symbols. That's actually really funny. Is that, like, a misprint, or is that just something normal and I never noticed? But yeah, I feel really bad calling cards, like, bad, or saying things are bad in, like, games like this, or something where I'm so close to the development of, but I mean, I don't know, sometimes you just gotta be honest. Yeah. I also wish, at bare minimum, they didn't break the Lith 10 stat line thing. Veritaqua. Better to be honest than to sugarcoat. Yeah, you're right. Narpoom. Burning Woods. Because if you sugarcoat, nothing ever gets really changed. For my card game, for example, my friends will absolutely flame me if something feels like shit. I've had to change a lot of effects. Ooh, cool, we got a carry-off. I think carry-off is really, really sick. I think that's our first one, too, other than the box topper. So, this card says you can shuffle an Elestral in your Underworld into your deck while it's on the field, which is pretty cool and all, but admittedly, the best effect is the second effect, which says, if it's sent to the Underworld with Hermes' effect, you can target an Elestral and expend spirits equal to the number of its enchanting spirits to destroy it. Unfortunately, it's enchanting spirits and not the, like what it shield says, right? I can't think of, like, the exact wording off the top of my head. But, like, say something has 5 spirits under it, you have to pay the 5 spirits. But it's still basically an Earthquake that you can always have available as long as you have Hermes on board. So that, I think, is really, really cool. I'm definitely going to open the packs a little faster now because we already have gotten our full art. So the only thing that could technically, like, jump scare us more that we can expect is a potential, like, Stellar or Reverse Stellar, which would be insanely cool. But I'm not really holding my breath. My Reverse Stellar luck isn't too bad. I still have yet to pull a Serialized Stellar, though. The only Serialized Stellar that I own is my Penterror from Dallas that I got for getting 8th. Oh, cool. There's the Draco Doodle. So this says, when a Cockatoodle is sent from your Underworld, you can, sent to your Underworld period, you can special cast this Draco Doodle from your Underworld with 2 wind, and you can only play 1 Draco Doodle this way each turn, and it gets +2 attack for each suppressed card on the field. I don't think the attack gain is going to come up, like, all the time, but I think that potentially, being able to have this in the Underworld off of, like, a, other generic mill cards, and then being able to dump the Cockatoodle to, well, technically this would increase the attack, right? To suppress something and then be able to bring this out for technically free is really cool. Like I said, I love all the Hermes stuff, really, except for the back row. I think all of the Hermes Elestrals were absolutely peak, except for, I mean, the Spinosect is kind of whatever. I think all the Hermes Elestrals were really peak. I think all the back rows where they kind of fumbled. Kite Mite, Teleria, Sirocco, Monsoon. Ooh, Solar Charged. Awesome. This card is very unassuming, but also very crazy. You can kind of see right there if I can angle it right. This card is 100% intended to be used with the Phosphocell strategy. Literally, you get to go for your Larva Cell, you get to use Solar Charge, and immediately go for your Anacell, and then I think from there, does Anacell immediately get to go into Phosphocell? Doesn't it just say, like, you can enchant to it and then, like, immediately go into Phosphocell? I think, like, the moment Anacell hits the board, you can make him go into Phosphocell. I don't know. Focus. Go, buddy. Nope. Okay. Thought I know I wanted out. Expend 2 Solar to Special Ascend? Okay. Yeah, I knew it could, like, instantly go into Phosphocell, and that's why people hyped it, because Phosphocell is, like, really fast to get into once you can get the Larva Cell right, so you had to go for, like, Apollo, Larva Cell, whatever. But this card allows you to do it a little bit easier without having to, like, use your Apollo spirits, so I think that's really cool. Like I said, Solar has a lot of potential. Solar and Frost have both been, like, huge potential man decks. Spinimp, Drataya, Urskote, Frigicub, Bunnix, now we definitely have 3, Mishal of Boreas, Breeze of Zephyros, Lyre of Apollo, and another Poseidon's Fury. Honestly, other than, I think, like, Terrastar or Nemastar or whatever, I don't even remember what the Stellars are in this set. Other than, obviously, like, the really big ones, like, you know, Majesty and stuff. Would be cool to pull any of them. Even a Reverse Stellar would be cool. Another Majursa. Like I said, we're kind of speedrunning it at this point. And then after this box, we have some tournament packs. And then we'll be good. Taya, Rummikul, Plucky, Werepup, Nemastar, Mistral, Breeze. While we're kind of speedrunning, what are y'all playing for you a YouTube stream? Get out! Ooh, cool. Got a Hollow Zeus. I like this Zeus artwork. Anyways, as I was saying, while we're kind of speedrunning this, what are y'all building for Firestorm? If it's not just Like a Void Turbo, because let's be real, almost everyone's going to be playing Like a Void Turbo if they really want to win. Like I said, I'm very interested in the Hermes stuff, and I really want to build something with Zeus. Reforge, Panzer, Torchin, Waspire. Oh, cool, we got the Floracne. I don't think we got one of these yet. I think the Spider deck is also really cool. Yes, Night Rose. Zeus has cum gutters. We cannot talk about it now. Yeah, anyways, as I was saying, I think that the spiders are very cool. I think it was a very interesting strategy because they basically just have like a Lone Fire Blossom. They're arena, stadium, field spell, whatever it's called. I think it's, I don't know, stadium. I've been playing too many card games, guys. Allows you to draw a card every time you play one of the spiders, which is really cool. This says you can disenchant a fire from your Hestia to search for the field spell and add it to your hand. And during each end phase, an opponent must expend equal to the number of Elestrals on their field if Arachne's Lair is enchanted. So you can kind of play this as like a very defensive burn strategy, while also playing very aggressive with things like your Warmite and your Frostmite that you can get off of your Kite-Mite. And then Arachne says it can be normal cast with 2 wind if Arachne's Lair is enchanted, so you can get a 6 body on board very easy, while also getting your draw off the Arachne's Lair. I think there's huge potential for the spider deck. You can also play with Ardbud, right? I mean, there's all insects, right? Even though it's insectoid, because otherwise they'd be arachnids or something like that. I don't know. I think that's also a deck that I want to experiment with, but probably when it gets more support in the future, because it reminds me a lot of, like, bears, right? Ignector, Sluggle, Hibernation, Sparkit, Sorlet, Glauby, Javalantis, Waylands, the trio of waters we always get in a row, and a Hollow Poseidon. Would love to get a full art Poseidon from base set at some point. I think the full art Poseidon is one of the coolest arts in the game. I think the full arts of, like, all the Divines are some of the best arts in the game, especially from base set. I will never forgive my friend for getting rid of his full art Demeter literally the moment he pulled it, and then didn't give me a chance to finish my match at Dallas to sell it to me instead. I would have totally got it off of him. I wanted full art Demeter so bad. I mean, everyone wants full art Demeter. But genuinely, that artwork's actually what got me into the game. I talk about it all the time. Still no Ankyla Surge, by the way. Another Draco Doodle. Yeah, I think Ankyla Surge is one of the only, like, things we haven't pulled from this set yet. This bulk stack is getting very scarily tall. Hestia's Hearth. I think a lot of people were hyping this card. What does it do again? Enchant fire from your underworld to a card on your field. Then if that card was a Hestia or champion, you may enchant an additional fire from your underworld to it. I mean, that's pretty neat. You can get a lot of damage that way. Kind of like how people used to use Full Moon instead of just going for the Like a Void. They would use it for like a lot of like damage pushes and stuff like that. Could also be really cool for Ash Rabbit. Or just setting up a Kinleo. I love Gen 4 music. Hey, there was no Glauby this time. We got a regular Hollow Tarot Star for our rare. Doesn't beat the full art. This card's so goofy, by the way. You can Nexus up to 3 Lunar, and when a player Nexuses, an opponent must expend for each spirit that a card received in that Nexus. So you can just, like, use this for burn. And then the original, I'm pretty sure, says you can, like, Nexus to a guy, and then that guy can attack directly the guy that you nexus to. So it's like, you can do so much damage potentially, but the problem is like there's no Hestia for Lunar, so you're gonna really struggle to actually get them all out. I think a Hestia for every element would be cool. I'm just really excited for the game to get faster. I want more things that can like bring themselves out from hand really easy. Still no Ankyla Surge. Another Poseidon's Fury. That's like our playset now, even outside of the starter deck. I think my friend wants to build Poseidon. Not like the friend that got into Elestrals, like, now I don't want to say with me, like, I got him into Elestrals as well, but he asked me. Like, I think my newest Elestrals playing friend wants to build it. Another Ampherix. We don't have a playset of this now. 2 more packs left, gamers. Maybe we'll get the Ankyla Shock. Yes, this is, you can nexus up to 2, and a Elestral that receives a Lunar Spirit in this way can attack spirits directly this turn. I think it's so funny. Majesty. Like I said, it sucks getting stuff that you can get in starter decks. Just say my name to not avoid confusion. Yeah, Mario Pro 99. Nah, it's Chris that wants to play the water stuff and not Thomas. Also good to see you back. How'd your route go? Last pack, gamers. And a Volt Tempest. You know, I got 2 Volt Tempest now. I'm not complaining. Yeah, so no Ankyla Shock or anything like that. Very large bulk stack. But not the end of the stream just yet. We have 3 more packs. We have Tournament Pack Series 1, 2, and 3 to open. And these all, I'm pretty sure, come with guaranteed reverse stellars. So we're going to see which ones we can get from that. Don't remember all the ones you can get from each. But I do like Tournament Pack artworks. Ugh. You can just tell from looking at the back that this is the old card stock. I don't know, it feels like very waxy. Alright. We have Rise from the Ashes, Plucky, and September. I think this is good in like some of those Earth artifact piles. Maybe not September. Maybe it's like only good in Centarbor. But I know the little one, the one that goes into the Centarbor line. I know that one's good because it adds like an artifact, right? Ooh, awesome. We got the Tournament Pack Werepup. Absolutely gorgeous. I can play this alongside my full arts now. But yeah, Bandaloon. I didn't even know this card had a Tournament Pack artwork. That's adorable. Oh, beautiful. Perfect. Got a reverse stellar doppelganger. Absolutely stunning. I love this doppelganger artwork a lot. And I love doppelganger a lot. It is probably one of my favorite cards in the game. I love the Navi line. That was by far my MVP when I played at Dallas. I actually signed a few Nabis, and then I got Dan to sign my Nabis. So this is going to fit in perfectly. Wow. That is probably the best one that I could have pulled from that set. And then we have Tournament Pack 3, which I forgot almost everything in here. Oh, I pulled it from the back like an idiot. Scavical, Champion of Hephaestus. And if the others, we have the... Ooh, we got the Hollow Gorgon's Gaze with the new artwork. And then we have the Soulveil Champion of Apollo. Beautiful stuff here. Getting the Gorgons is really nice. Alright, gamers. That is going to do it for the Creator Box opening. Just a little recap for everyone that came in late. Sort out the hollows that we got here. Zoom back out as well. What did I do? I don't know. I pressed the button like it was going to record or something, but... Oh, it's because it's in picture mode. I think it just took a picture for no reason. And there we go. Alright. Let's go ahead and sort out all of the holo foils. If I can fit them all. Got our full art Tarot Star. Oh yeah, definitely not fitting them all on here. Got our Owloon. Put the Scavicle under here. We have the carry-off box topper. And kind of try to, like, angle it a little bit. Alrighty, so these were our holo pulls. Terrible camera work. We also got the Stellar Vipyro and Lycaris from the blister packs. We got the 2 starter decks. We have the Hestia and the Poseidon one. And then, as always, the best part of these creator boxes, our little plushy friend. We got the little Flurmine. He is so cute. Oh my god. I gotta find a good spot for you. I have way too many plushies. Like, not even just Elestrals. I have a lot of Pokemon plushies. I have a Tinkatink on top of my my microphone mixer. I got a Poplio on top of my desk. I got a Litten on top of my computer. I have a Sprigatito hanging from a hook by the neck in my closet. I got a lot of plushies, and those are just the ones that I have out. I actually have like a whole bag of them under my bed. I actually forgot all the ones that I have. Oh my goodness. Like I said, I have a Nobby as well. I got like the Leviathan. I got the Voldusk. I got a lot of stuff. But yeah, absolutely insane stuff as always. I gotta redeem my caster coin cards. I think they can potentially give you up to 100, right? Yeah, 5 to 100. Oh, it reminds me of those Wizard 101 crown giveaways. Yeah, again, thank you to the Elestrals team very, very much for another awesome creator box. Always such a treat to be able to get product like this, and I don't want to say be like endorsed by the company because like I'm not directly working with them all the time, but it is really nice to have this like close connection with them. It just feels very awesome. I love how included I get to feel in the Elestrals game being brought up. And I am very excited for the future of the game. I will try to play a lot of Firestorm whenever I can. I have not played in the casual events in a while, unfortunately. Still can't play in any premieres, but I do want to try and get a locals going at my OTS. We are still working on letting them work with the Play Network and stuff like that. It's just a bit of a long, complicated process that my friend and I are trying to set up. But I want to thank everyone who came out to the stream once again for coming out. This was very fun, very active. Y'all were awesome in chat. It is very rare that my chat is this lively, and it's not just like one person the whole time, right? And we peaked at, like, what, like 9 viewers, 10 viewers, something like that? I usually don't see those numbers unless I'm doing a ban list prediction stream. So that was awesome. I hope that even if you aren't interested in Elestrals, and if you did show up, this can help try to maybe coerce you a little, beam it into your mind to pick the game up. It is so much fun. Genuinely, I like it a lot more than Yu-Gi-Oh! In its current state, even though we are about to go into probably a ridiculous format when it comes to Firestorm with the Lycavoid stuff. But with that being said, thank you all so much for coming out. If you liked it, please leave a like, as I'll split this stream and the channel into the YouTube recommended, and like more like it, like Elestrals content, Yu-Gi-Oh! Content, CCG content in general, then pressing subscribing and turn notifications. I am taking a little bit of a hiatus, mostly for like my mental health and also just for time purposes. I need to focus a lot more on like myself outside of content creation and also working just my 9 to 5, you know, trying to do stuff there. Been very busy there lately. But I do want to eventually try to upload a lot more like I used to, because I really want to just make the best content that I can. But with that being said, thank you all so much for coming out to the stream, and I'll see you in the next one. This is Aurora, signing off.